Okay, I'm in Ibiza. I've just watched the sunset. And I was trying to figure out why this was the sort of last and only thing on my bucket list, to watch the sunset into the ocean. And then I realised that I once, in 2005 to 6, saw the sun rise in Australia at New Year. So I was one of the first to watch it rise from the horizon at the most western point in the world, or something like that. Maybe in Australia. And now I'm just thinking, I've sought out privacy. I want to do it completely by myself, on my own. There's a lot of places to watch it, like there's DJs and stuff, but all I wanted was peace and quiet. And I don't want to do it amongst the crowds, because this is a very special moment for understanding exactly how small we are in the grand scheme of things. It's amazing to listen to the water. There's rocks, there's boats, and yachts. Actually, I suppose most of them are yachts, full of rich people, this place. A seagull's just had a shit into the sea. 2 seagulls playing. And one of them's just dived in to try and get a fish, I think. But yeah, it's whilst I was sitting here, I was also thinking that the people in Newcastle, oh my god, the seagull caught something, like a little fish. That's amazing. It might not be a seagull, but it's definitely got a much bigger beak than a seagull, but it's sort of the same colour as the seagull. But yeah, people in Newcastle are super friendly, and when I'm sort of sitting on a cliff, not too close, because I do get sort of scared of dying accidentally if somebody was to throw me off the edge, or whatever. Don't want to get too close to danger. But I was wondering if the last time I really re-injured my knee, it was right next to Newcastle Central Station, and just loads of people hurried to help out, and people are super lovely. And here I find myself smiling to people and acknowledging them, and I think Newcastle is very one of a kind, where people are you can be left alone completely if you want to, but also people are super, super friendly. If you make any eye contact, you might say hi or something similar. And I was thinking, if people helping out in Newcastle being so friendly has maybe got a lot to do with the university culture, and how lots of people are super drunk at the weekends, or probably every day of the week, to be honest. And that kind of creates a vibe of, when people are at a good stage of drinking, they're really friendly, really happy. And I wonder if that carries on, because I think especially the people who studied in Newcastle and are working in Newcastle, you kind of, if you're happily married, you'll just sort of help anyone out. Because it's under a week now until my knee reconstruction operation, and I have been super careful, and I want to really look after my knee. I was just thinking, what if something happened here? I have no idea, because people aren't anywhere near as I don't know if friendly is the right word, but receptive to acknowledgement or something. I wonder if something happened to my knee, because this place is also full of those kind of disgusting British tourists, like I had on my flight, absolutely screaming, shouting. It's not very nice. They're just really misbehaving. They're finally getting away from home, and I just feel like maybe they feel like they can do whatever the fuck they want and be quite disgusting, really. I got moved on my flight today from Newcastle to Ibiza because I was amongst, I think, 11 rowdy, Geordie, presumably rugby lads, whom I actually bumped into. Well, I didn't acknowledge them, but I walked past them again where I am, which is funny because it's a good 45 minutes away from the airport, so quite a coincidence that they're not actually in the party central, which is where all the big clubs are in Ibiza. But they were so drunk at 8 o'clock in the morning, shouting, just being really not nice. So gladly the flight wasn't full and I got given another seat, and super crazily I bumped into two of my old clients, one of which is a musician and his lovely wife, and the musician's mum basically came to make friends with me during the flight. It was unbelievable, so funny. She's like, oh, tell me I can go away anytime. I was like, no. She was stretching her legs where I was sitting, and I was like, I absolutely love this when people are just lovely, friendly, and I'm traveling by myself on my own. I don't mind a bit of hello time, and it actually seems like it's created a good vibe where I was able to help them out in a way, and it was just lovely to catch up with random people who you're acquainted with. But yeah, I'm gonna go now to get a time lapse of this beautiful sunset. The sun has set, but the clouds are creating unbelievable formations where there's just, it's kind of looks thunderstormy, not thunderstorm, maybe very rainy in one point, but then it's just, the colours are amazing. So I'm gonna go. Okay, let's continue. So my knee reconstruction operation is going to be tomorrow. It's now nearly 10 o'clock at night and I need to be up at about 5:30 in the morning, so it's very soon time for bed. I've been off my feet the entire day and been just thinking through my life decisions. So I was supposed to have this operation a month ago and it got postponed because I had a graze on my knee. And before that time, I was really prioritising getting as much sports in as possible. I was feeling fantastic. My knee was feeling really good. I felt like I'd really learned to avoid any sort of, avoid a re-injury as much as possible. But then 2 days after the postponement of the operation date, which is about a month ago, I just stepped off my bike and my leg was straight and let's just say it went really bad, So now it's been nearly a month since then. My knee, I've now gained nearly full mobility, but there's quite a lot of pain when it's in full flexion. And tomorrow's the day. Last time before the operation, I was quite scared. This time I'm just full of, not excitement, that's definitely the wrong word, but I just want to get it done with. I've put on a bit of weight this past month, which I absolutely forgive myself. That's fine. But instead of doing as many sports as possible, I've really been focusing on socialising as much as possible and maintaining good connections with people that I've got in my life whom I really, really, really value. And I've acquired myself a new personal assistant for my business, which should help me grow a little bit as being able to provide more help for more people all over the world. So that's cool. But that's not the prime focus right now. Now we shall just focus on recovery. I really, 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 really just hope the operation is going to go ahead tomorrow. So because it didn't last time, a month ago, I was able to book myself a holiday to Ibiza, which is unbelievable. Very, very intense. Went to see my favourite DJ, Fisher, at Ibiza, which is full of people on drugs, and the amount of drugs that were sold on the streets was unbelievable. I was gonna just dance all night completely sober, until I realised that a bottle of water at the club was €13, and the bottle was very small, 322 millilitres, whereas a beer was €16, and you're able to get, I think, maybe 400 millilitres, but more liquid anyway. I was also hesitating on my life decisions when I was on my own in the club, where people were just off their faces and I wasn't at all, and I was by myself and thinking I just want to save my energy for 3 a.m, which is when Fisher started playing. I didn't want to, have to buy too many beers to keep me going for the night. What a fucking thing. But yeah, just say this past weekend, it's now Monday night, it was just so lovely. I've been out to watch some world triathlon things and learned a lot of new things. I've never watched triathlons. It was very good. Got to know some new people as well. Just lovely vibes, and just so full of love for people in my life. And I would now really hope that once I start my recovery, fingers crossed, that people will just come and visit me to keep me occupied, because I will be out of action for quite a while. Oh, and today, as my final little thing, I managed, because I had a cancellation, my last PT session was cancelled for the day, last one of the day, and I was dying last weekend to go for a swim, sauna, as in sauna, and gym, a final rehab session at the gym, and I managed that today. It was so cool. People from the swim club, which I belong to, were also there, quite a few of them actually, and I had no idea beforehand, but I was really focused on my own thing, to be honest. I did some monkey bar things, some handstands, some headstands, some sledge pulling. I never know if it's sled or sledge. Sled pulling? Sled. You know what I mean, like a thing that's really good for the knees. I just did a sauna, followed by a really cold shower, followed by a 50-meter swim. I really dislike swimming, but I've even become inspired about cycling and running. I don't like to run, and swimming to an extent, because of the triathlon weekend. So that was really, really cool. But it's been a ridiculously hectic time. I found myself not even spending much time at all on my phone, because I've really focused on just remembering what it feels like to be able to bend my knee. I have no idea what's going to happen with the recovery. One friend says it's going to be absolutely fine. I'll be pretty much back to normal after 6 weeks, whereas another friend who just had his done is saying that a physio says no particular weight bearing until 6 weeks have gone. So we shall see. I have no idea how I'm going to be. If I get a moment, if I get a chance, I'll see if I can record something from the hospital, either before the op or after. Probably not before the op. It was quite hectic last time, but I'm not that scared anymore, which is good. But crazy how sort of times change, and I just want to feel really grateful that I've gained so many new experiences this past month, because my previous operation didn't go ahead, even though it felt like the worst tragedy at the time. I'm still gutted it didn't, but actually I'm not, because I wouldn't take a day back. And it's just crazy to think that none of this stuff, the world, my world, and some people's worlds would have been entirely different, or somewhat different, if I had had my operation last month. Just how one little thing can change so many things, and the course of the future entirely is just mind-blowing. So let's continue on this path and see when I get the chance to record again. I've literally been dying to record another podcast, or I'm trying to put these clips together, but I just haven't had the time or headspace. Whenever I get a chance to chill out by myself in the evening, I just want to sit down in the peace and quiet and silence and meditate, or just sit and chill. hopefully my heart rate variability will be lovely, and resting heart rate's down to 50s. Even I think it was down to 48 the other day. So been trying to be nice and healthy before the operation. Also crazy how they don't talk about what you should do beforehand. Maybe you shouldn't eat a really, really heavy meal the night before. This can be, I'd feel horrendous. So I've eaten a nice and light meal beforehand, and just that type of stuff of like what you should and shouldn't do. I've been trying to just take it nice and easy, still stayed active, been on my bike, but hardly done any official exercise. Got my final skating session in at the weekend in Sunderland on the Roker Beach after watching the triathlons. That was really, really cool. Just I'm going to miss skating so much. It's unbelievable. And like just to think that it's going to probably be at least 6 to 9 months until I get to put my skates on again breaks my heart. But you know what? We will come out of this stronger and better than ever. Not than ever. Okay, catch you soon. I'm in the hospital now and really, really, really excited. Got seen to straight away. And I don't even understand how I'm not more nervous. I'm going to be signing off paperwork soon to, sign my life away. I might die, probably not, but I'm excited for a new knee and a more stable life. Oh my God, yeah, so here we go. I'm back at home. I was first on the list. I got into the theatre. They discovered that on top of the ACL rupture and medial meniscus tear, I also had bad damage in my lateral meniscus. So they had more to fix than what they initially thought. Coming out of the theatre into recovery, I got an oxygen mask stuck on my face straight away. I got injected with fentanyl, obviously pure fentanyl. They've got a massive problem with fentanyl at least in America somewhere, but obviously it's been cut with all sorts of shite. It did make me a bit woozy and stuff, pure hard stuff, but the pain didn't go anywhere. I got transferred to the discharge ward after the pain, that stuff had kicked in, and then spent after the operation, 3.5 hours just in absolute agony. I was clenching onto the bedsides and I just, my traps were on fire, my shoulders were on fire, my forearms were getting really tired because I just couldn't put my leg down onto the bed. Sort of more like my bum and my hamstring. It was so it was so painful. I think the fentanyl brought the pain down to about 5 out of 10. And then it just shot up very soon after to 8 out of 10. I couldn't focus on anything. I couldn't really listen to anyone. I couldn't really see anything. I briefly considered trying to watch something on the iPad, the programs that I downloaded before going. Not a chance in hell. I had no ability to concentrate on anything. So they brought me, oh my God, so I got given paracetamol, which is some kind of ibuprofen in the operating theatre, also a nerve blocker in the operating theatre, anti-sickness stuff intravenously in the operating theatre. Then afterwards, on top of the paracetamol, I got codeine, I got Oromorph, 2 doses of, which does nothing, and apparently people usually really like it. It's morphine, just orally. And it just doesn't do anything apart from make me a bit woozy. It doesn't touch the pain. And I was just, I had tears running down my face. I don't feel like I was particularly crying, but I was just in so much pain. It was ridiculous. And this kept going on for so long. And all the staff were just unbelievable, so caring and so attentive and really, really amazing. They just came to sort of reassure that everything's going to be fine. They're going to not let me go, not discharge me until I feel comfortable. I didn't believe them. At some point when I just thought nothing's working, I was like, I'm never getting out of here. This is absolutely ridiculous, because I just knew I will stand no chance of sleeping if I'm in anywhere near that kind of pain. So I was just trying to come to terms with not sleeping for days. And then the consultant and anaesthetist came to see me together. I think they'd seen me earlier as well, but it's all a bit hazy. And they just went, right, we've got a few things we can try, and we could just pump me up with more full of morphine, but obviously it just doesn't really do anything to me. It doesn't do anything to the pain. So we went with something. Do you know what? It's kind of irrelevant, isn't it? What did I? Tramadol. Yeah. Please, kids, don't take advice from me. This is obviously it's so crazy how everyone's body is so different. They said that normally, people love morphine, and I just don't get it. Same as with codeine. It's annoying how it makes me feel. Just really annoying, but it does take a bit of the pain away. But at the hospital, it just didn't seem to. I think the pain was so vast. And then I was just crying and just saying, I just want to be able to relax, because I wasn't able to. And then probably about 20 minutes into taking the tramadol, my body sort of slowly and gradually and surely started to relax. And it was so good. Gradually better. The physio tried to take me out for a walk before things had kicked in. I was like, I don't think I'm going to do very well, because first of all, I struggled to speak, and I was like, I'm just struggling to comprehend, and I don't think my balance is going to be very good if I'm just so off my face, but not, like, I don't have any relief for the pain. That was craziness. And then after getting the tramadol, oh my God, I've since taken one more dose of painkillers, and it's now a good 8.5 hours after it first started working. And you could take them, I think it was every 4 hours or something. So I don't know what miracle happened, but it's funny, it doesn't make me feel high at all, which I feel is amazing. It's just because they said the first few days can be very painful. It's just making me feel like I can live, and I will probably be able to sleep as long as I can sort of be on my back, elevate my foot, and not move around too much. The past 2 nights have been nightmarish, because I've just kept having really vivid dreams. And I've been in bed, I think, for over 9 hours each night, and 9.5 hours one night, and I've slept between 5 and 6 hours. So you can imagine how frustrating and annoying and just painful it is to lie in bed and just not be able to sleep. First night, well, the 2 nights before the operation, it was just anxiety and just sort of being slightly scared for it. But I have to say, last night was just vivid dreams, and I felt so excited in the morning to be going. I was excited, and by the time they discharged me, they were saying, this is the girl we like to see, because I was just full of smiles again. I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy that this happened. So happy. And it's funny, because I've just been so frustrated with having a leg that I need to be careful with all the time. Now I need to be careful with the leg, very careful, particularly the next 4 weeks because of the extra meniscal damage. However, I know that I'm on the road to recovery, so it's got a real purpose. I'm not just waiting for an operation that I don't know the outcome of. So I just can't begin to tell you how fucking happy I am. Fair enough, there's probably going to be ups and downs. This is the first day. I'm feeling really good now after feeling utterly shite. And it's just, you know what, again, like, people are offering, my friends and people are just offering their help, and it's so selfless, and it's just so lovely, and it just makes me so happy to have such amazing friends. And this comes at no cost. Like, I've made a lot of effort this year to make sure that I pay attention to people I like, and I give them my attention, as in I make sure that they know that I'm thinking about them. You can't take friendships for granted, and it's that kind of, the more positivity you share, the more positivity you're going to get back. It's just such an amazing spiral. Like downward spirals are and can be much more easier in general than positive spirals. Trust me. Do a good thing. Be a good friend. Trust people. Be vulnerable. And it will absolutely get rewarded. As long as you got self-respect and a feeling of self-worth, which I know can take a long time to accumulate. But to start with small little steps, I just can't begin to tell you how fortunate and not even lucky I've worked for it. But I just feel like this is great. And now for the next month, I have to put as little weight on the foot as possible, either on my tippy toes or, I figured, just drag it up in the air. I'm very determined to do lots of rehab. And apparently I shouldn't be doing too much so it doesn't get swollen and stuff, but within my limitations. Obviously, I've been quite active, very active beforehand, really. And I have to say, I just find it quite cool to have these like operation wounds. They'll be bloody and a bit like cool. And these compression socks I find really cool. I know that like probably most of the time most people just think like hideous things. But like my cool friend who came to pick me up from the hospital, she works as a surgeon, and she was saying when she's operating, she wears compression socks, and they're really hard to get on and stuff. And I just like, yeah, we're the cool gang, you know, we are the cool gang. So what else? Yeah, so expecting a 6 to 9 month recovery, and should be next summer, so just under a year, when I can sort of safely get back into more demanding sports. They didn't do the extra bit of procedure, which I don't remember what it's called, but where they basically reinforce, especially hypermobile people, so that it's less likely to re-rupture again in the future. But I'm just gonna be a bit more careful in general in the future. But I really hope I get to play more squash and tennis and stuff like that, where I have to sort of do, I think still I'm not quite sure if they're pivotal sports or pivoting sports. I think they might, because pivotal sports sounds wrong, but I think it's right. So I'll let you look it up, and or if you just know, then haha, well done. There we go. That's my little update. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is if my stomach gets. Oh, I actually got some medicines for the stomach as well. So taking these drugsies, I'm only going to be on the drugs for 5 days, and they can just cause constipation. As lovely as that is. So if I'm unable to poo, that I'm not looking forward to. But it's such a good reset. My mindset's been restored. I had a pretty not wild, but just a lovely, super hectic, super active weekend, as in terms of socialising. And now it's time to wind the clock down, sit down in the house more, focus on reading. Maybe I'll start knitting. Maybe I'll start painting little figurines, which was recommended by my client. What else could I do? I'd love your suggestions, actually. If you've got anything that you can sit down, put some ice, on the knee and elevate your foot and just do something. I need to find stuff to do, because I'm not going to be able to just not do anything. I've got my gymnastics rack out so I can hang from it. Hanging is one of the best things you can do to your body, to your spine, to your lat strength, upper body strength. So good for flexibility. So I've just got a thing that's not dangerous at all. I can literally just put my crutches next to it and just hang for a little bit every day, do little shoulder shrugs and stuff. But I'm not going to hurry into any risky sports, nothing like that. And sometimes people kind of doubt me because it's like, oh, you can't do it. I'm like, well, it's not even I used to be more competitive. It's like, oh, watch me. I've got nothing to prove to anyone. I've got nothing to prove to myself, to be honest. I'm just really, really looking forward to eating well and to moving around less, but still in a very mindful way. At the same time as I don't mind if I put on a bit of weight, it's just what it is. But I just, it's so easy to keep weight in check with good nutrition that I just don't feel like I don't need to worry about it at all. This is just, I'm actually surprising myself with how, I know I'm quite a sort of positive person, quite optimistic, and I'd say realistic, but just with an optimistic outlook. I'm not naively optimistic. I just know that good things come if they are to come. I've also started watching the Vikings from the start, because I've only watched the last 2 seasons and I absolutely loved the ending. So, there's a Finnish person on this called Jouko Ahola as Kauko. Oh my God, I had no idea. Brilliant. I need to pay attention to who that is. I'm only on episode 2 of season 1 now, but it's funny. This is not a show that I would ever consider. But I started watching it over lockdown for some strange reason, in the bath, in the candle-lit environment on my iPad. And people have just been saying that if I like the ending, I will love the whole thing. It's absolutely hours and hours and hours long, and I normally struggle to watch TV. But guess what? Now I have time. So my dearest hope would be that my friends would come and visit me, just to maybe do me a favour and boil the kettle, share a cup of tea with me, cup of coffee, or just come and chat, drink some water, you know. I'm not going to take any risks and drink alcohol and stuff like that. That would sort of, make me, in a way, lose control. Not that I'm not a very control-losing person when I drink, but I don't see any point now. I'm going to get my resting heart rate really low, hopefully, and heart rate variability high, and I just can't begin to tell you how excited I am for the future. I'm just going to put it into one word, because kind of short-term future, but recovery is going to be long. But if I think about the long-term future, if I think about a year from now, that would be really fucking depressing. So all I can do is think about the here and now, and exactly what I can do in this moment, and maybe max in a week's time, that's going to contribute towards a better life for me and the people around me. My kids have been away on holiday for a week and a half, and I miss them like crazy. They're going to come home tomorrow, and I'm really, really, really happy to know that I'm not going to be off my face, because I thought that could be an option, that I'm just really out of it. And I've asked for friends to come around to sort of help me out, and also their friends, children friends, are ready to play with them and stuff. So also another thing, just to learn to ask for help is something I've found super, super difficult in the past, and it's kind of getting easier. And I think as well, just being open to people offering help has made it, I don't know, life's good. I've had keyhole surgery with hamstring graft taken out of my hamstring tendon. They've screwed things into my leg, and they've built a new ACL for me. They've shaved off damaged bits from my meniscus and sewn together both the medial and lateral meniscus. And it's apparently quite a lot of sewing work. I don't know what it's called. Sutures. I never know how to say that word. Sutures, something like that. Stitches, basically. Everything's dissolvable. I need to go and see the GP in 2 weeks' time, and also the physio. So, amazing. And I'm not sure. I've got one more sort of wound in my leg, and I'm not entirely sure what that's for. Maybe that's for the unanticipated damage. I didn't ask, because I was so out of it. Oh, just then so happy. But look at that. I won't be able to get my leg. Oh, there's a downside. I won't be able to get my leg wet for 2 weeks, or as little as minimize it. And that also means I won't really be able to shave. Ooh, my legs are going to be hairy. Damn. I just think I'm kind of really proud of my little war wounds. And again, where the accident happened in the first place in gymnastics training, when my leg got overextended, falling from a height and then landing onto a straight leg, and I just felt a crack. And then there's no pain. It was just really weird and just started collapsing. That was crazy. But from that moment on, I'm just like, do you know what? I was doing something I loved. And so I'm not going to regret it. And at no point have I got upset about it. I've got upset that it's not great that I have to wait, but such is life. You can't have everything you want, And sometimes all that pain and all that suffering just reminds you how the good times are so good, and even the standard times, the times that you take for granted, how fucking valuable they are. So yeah, I'm gonna take my last dose of medication for the evening, and I have no alarm clock set for tomorrow, which is amazing because I've actually been clever this time, and I've not taken any work for tomorrow. If I'd had the operation a month ago, oh my God, I was going to be working from 9:30 in the morning, and I was going to be busy the whole day. I was like, what the hell was I thinking? So in a way, I'm really glad it didn't go ahead, because I was a fucking arse. What a silly pie. So no alarm. I can just, if I wake up in the middle of the night, then no stress. I can just rest. I've literally been up at 4 o'clock this morning. It's now 20 to 11, and I don't know what's happened. I did have close to a litre of Viennetta ice cream for dinner, but and 4 slices of toast in the hospital with jam and butter. What a diet. Take example, not literally no protein apart from the dairy. But anyway, this is not an exemplary day for eating, but at the same time, come on, you have to forgive yourself. It's fine, right? That's my knee reconstruction operation surgery story. Where I'd ruptured my ACL and torn my meniscus, both medial and lateral. And now it's fixed. And now, apparently, the meniscus, he said if I was really old, he'd just cut it, basically cut the meniscus out or something, just take the bits out. But that would mean that my bones would start grinding together very soon. So it's like, you're still young, so I wanted to save as much as I possibly could. But that also means that I have to be really fucking careful with recovery so that cushiony element of it stays and it doesn't just go flat because it's fresh sutures. Did I say that right? Anyway, thanks for listening. I welcome all of your thoughts. I would love to hear them via any platform. You can drop me an email at hello@erichelsinki.com, or just come to Instagram. Speak to me, Erica_Helsinki. But yeah, if you know anyone who's going to undergo this operation, share this episode with them. That would be really cool and mean the world to me. And I'm glad to be out with a new episode because it's been a while. It's kind of not intentional. I've been looking forward to coming back to this, but it's just been a crazy time. Now I should have more time in the house and not just running around like a headless chicken. So maybe I'll have a little bit more time soon. But yeah, good night or good day, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. And I will catch you next time. Make sure you subscribe or follow wherever you're listening. You are great. Thank you for being here.